Let's go to D.C. right now. Take a look at the U.S. Supreme Court building because the conservative majority on the U.S. High Court is reportedly set to strike down the legal right to abortion in the United States. Now, that would be a political earthquake of a ruling, potentially widening the partisan divide in the United States. And already it is setting off shockwaves across American society. So for more, let's go to the CBC's Magda Gavasalasa. She's in D.C. this morning covering the story for us today. So Magda, as I say, this was breaking late last night. The reaction to it has continued since. What do we know about this draft opinion, the one that suggests that the majority of conservative justices on the U.S. Supreme Court is ready to overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark ruling that legalized abortion in the U.S.?
Yeah, well, what we know is if this draft stays as it is, draft after draft, right to the final decision, well, that would mean an end to the constitutional right for women to have abortions in the U.S. For that federal right, that would bring an end to it. So this draft is actually connected to a Mississippi law banning abortions after 15 weeks. And that particular case was heard here at the Supreme Court in December. Oral arguments were heard back in December. So based on this draft, it seems like the conservative judges are hoping to overturn Roe v. Wade, which made that constitutional right of abortion a possibility here in the U.S., essentially calling that decision wrong to begin with. And it would then leave the power of abortions and decisions on abortions with the states. So it would be up to each state to make their own decisions around whether women can have abortions or not, or at what period of time. So reaction to this decision was swift. We had many people rushing here to the Supreme Court last night from both sides of this argument, either to protest or to celebrate. Take a listen.
You are not going to change and roll back the time, 50 years to where, women have to ask for permission to make decisions regarding our own bodies. We're not doing that.
This is the kind of thing a lot of pro-life activists, particularly in the older generation, didn't think they were going to see in their lifetime. So it's an emotional moment for all of us in the pro-life movement.
Again, this is just a draft. A final decision isn't likely to be published until possibly the end of June, Michael.